Hello and welcome to GPTV on Tuesday the 31st of May. My name's Philip Kingston.
And I'm Gary Pearce.
Gary, last day of autumn today.
Yep.
We roll over to winter tomorrow, and yet outside it's pretty miserable already. So the question is this going to be a long, hard, cold, cruel winter or not? Is this the winter of your discontent?
It's interesting, Phil, talking about the weather and the Carrington Grove auction on the weekend.
Yes.
Was amazing because, I actually got out of my car and I did what you
got
say.
out of your car?
I did
Well,
what you say I should
positive.
do, and
Yep.
I put on some sun cream to
Yep.
protect myself.
Yep.
And, it was very warm. And then lo and behold, the temperature must have dropped about how quick was that?
During the auction, I actually
it was
highlighted
almost
it.
spooky, wasn't it?
Viewers and
What
Gary,
happened there?
and Gary,
Yeah.
because you've raised an interesting thing. Does one put sunscreen on
Yep.
on a cold day? Well,
Yep.
I've got this Sun Smart app. So viewers, I'm just going to, we'll bring up
Has that got the rays, has
We'll
it?
bring up the Sun Smart app. Anyway, this is something that I live by because you go onto the Sun Smart app and it tells you what the UV is. So,
Yep.
for example, UV is now 0.0.
Is that what?
It's 0.2
0.2, yeah.
with a maximum of 1, and it tells you sun protection is not required, and so it gives you the whole thing.
I'll have to get that. Yeah,
So it's
'cause we're both very white.
Smart. Well, not
almost
only are we
like
fair,
luminescence almost.
we're fair skinned, Gary,
Yeah.
and when I look at your skin, I
Yeah.
realise your skin probably resembles my skin. We're
It does,
starting to
without the
become-
without the
we're starting to
buttocks,
become-
without the buttocks.
We're a bit blotchy and a lot of sun
Botox.
damage. And yes, we are not adverse to getting cosmetic rectification to that.
Hey, by the way, and like nothing that you would say would ever worry or accept or even affect me because I hardly listen to you anyway.
True.
I hardly listen to you anyway. But last week, there's been a bit of a follow-up from last week because, you managed to upset, we're not going to have any interstate clients left, right? Because you managed to upset Adelaide.
This
and then
is
last
a
week,
great story.
this is extraordinary. This is, fact is stranger than fiction. So last week, you launched into this house. Happens to be 100 Blair Street. Let's put it up on the screen.
100 Blair Street, Bondi North.
Yeah. And
The stupidest little house
Anyway,
with the highest possible
don't
price.
start again. So he's launched into this house, and this is unscripted, unplanned. Anyway, he's gone and attacked this house, and he's gone on screen, and he's had a ramble on about it.
Just as a disclaimer, just in case the vendor of that house is looking, the only reason I'm having a launch at it is because this is reflective of North Bondi prices. It's a fantastic house,
backtracking
and
now.
if you're thinking about buying
Such
a
a
house in
politician.
North Bondi,
Oh,
this
come
is
on.
as good as it gets.
You're just wimping out now. He's
No, but
full
I
of
just-
vitriol and
it's an
anger
it's
and
an
disdain
opinion.
for
It's
this
an
house.
opinion. It is
Anyway,
my opinion.
Anyway, I
think it's a good piece of real estate.
I get an email from a client saying, we grew up at that house, right? We grew up in that house, and it just so happens it is my wife's uncle's house, an auntie's former house. So there you go. Who would have known of all the houses he picked, he actually picked my wife's uncle and auntie and cousin's house. So anyway, let's just leave it at that. They're not talking to us anymore. It's better to split the family. No, that's not true. But
and it is good value if you're looking in North Bondi and you've got
try to
$3 to $4
backtrack.
million.
It's true, like the damage
if
is
you've
done.
got $3 to
You
$4
can't
million
just
to spend,
Band-Aid it with
and you want a little house,
with
on
a
the
bit of
corner.
slick dialogue. You're not going to Band-Aid it. Anyway, we're sorry. It's a lovely home, and we're glad you had happy memories, and I'm sure you did a beautiful job, and it was wonderful in its day, and it still is a wonderful house. Anyway, if you don't know what we're talking about, go back to last week's edition. Let's talk a bit about the market, what's going on, and another topic, an issue, other than the fact, can we just leave everybody in every other state alone? Because you managed, I think Perth, Tasmania, and Queensland, we've given hell to Queenslanders, but I think Perth and Tasmania are pretty safe at the moment, maybe Northern Territory. Phil, let's talk a little about the auction system because the market's changed.
Well, before we do, Gary, I was just going into my calculator.
He's interrupted
here.
me again.
No.
You live on that phone.
Because it's important. 24 divided by 30.
Oh, you had to work that out.
The clearance rate, Gary.
Well, you didn't work. You didn't see what we put out on 100 different social media and pumped through the team.
Viewers, the industry average
What's wrong
across
with you?
Melbourne
What's going
was
on?
60%, and there is some discussion going on yesterday's financial review about 60% being a balanced market.
Yes.
We came
balance
in completely unbalanced.
Yep.
Industry imbalance, if you accept that 60% is a balanced market. 60% for the industry. Clearly, we were out of whack. We were unbalanced. There's no balance at Gary Pearce and Associates because we came in at 80%.
Put up
24 out of 30.
Put up the towers, have a look at those, and I think we can label the industry tower as imbalanced,
Yes.
and we can label our tower as unbalanced. We like that.
Yeah,
So we
some
are
superb choreography. Just
exactly
took
right.
place then.
You would have thought we would have practiced it all night, wouldn't you? Although you would have been pretty tired.
So Gary,
last few nights, you had a big
oh.
weekend, didn't you?
I did.
A very busy weekend.
I think
and
I'm
this
being
weekend's
worked far
even busier.
too hard, Gary. That's why I'm going to take the Queen's birthday weekend off.
Very good.
And I'm going to go to Surface Paradise, where I haven't been for quite some time. I'm going to get on a plane. I'm going to go to Surface Paradise. So if viewers, you're up in Surface over the long weekend, we've got no social arrangements yet.
No.
So more than happy for you to treat us out on the Gold Coast.
Sounds like,
you think
sounds
about
like,
ringing us.
Sounds like a good idea. Phil, just want to have a chat about what I mentioned when you cut me off, and probably appropriately in some ways, because we talked about the auction system. And of course, now that the market's changed, do we question the process or do we trust the process? Question the process?
Question the process.
Trust the process. Which is it?
Well, I think, Gary, the obvious answer is if you have a great process, why wouldn't you trust it?
Yeah, look, I agree with you. And I think it was some article about this recently, Phil, that came under my nose, and all of the different things that, you know, with all the race reports and everything else came on. And I got to say, Phil, that I agree with you. I think, and in fact, this article, and well done to the author of the article, who probably I should name, but I'm not that kind-hearted to do so, said that auctions are actually designed more so for this market than the market where things just fly. This is a more appropriate auction market than the other market. Now, having said that, we do sell a lot by private sale. We do expression of interest, so we can facilitate sellers whichever way they want to go. But if you're a seller and you're wondering now whether auction is the way to go because the clearance rates are a little bit less, not necessarily with us, but well, even with us, we were 90% say, now we're 80. Is it still the way to go? Absolutely.
I think that was a bit of a ramble, Gary. I'm going to just come to
digest it.
I'm going to come to the. I'm going to cut straight through for you on this. Our days on market of our auction properties is less than our days on market with our private sale properties. Now, time is the enemy of price, Gary. The longer a property sits there, generally speaking, the price becomes
doesn't become
softer.
more attractive, does it?
So days on market is critically important, and days on market with most real estate agencies would be less with auctions than it is with private sales. Now, here's an interesting stat that no one knows because no one thinks about it, because only people that tune into this show really understand.
Intelligent audience.
Well, there are a more sophisticated audience, Gary. But what doesn't get published is that it's clearly definable when a property goes to auction, either it sells or it doesn't. So
very transparent.
On a weekend, every weekend, we see the success rate of the auction
or
system.
Otherwise.
What people don't see is every day a property remains on the market with a private sale, that is effectively another day of failure. So ultimately, we don't publish the days on market of private sales, but factually, days on market with auctions is always less than days on market with private sales.
Now, of course, it applies to different markets as well. We're talking about the Melbourne, inner suburban, eastern, Bayside, southern areas, and I'm sure in the north too, auctions are doing well. So don't get jelly legs vendors. If you're wanting to sell by auction and you think maybe auction's not the way to go, our advice is still auction.
Trust the process.
Trust the process.
Maybe we'll get little badges made up
saying
trust the process.
Sounds like a movement.
TTP, trust the process.
Like a revolution. Sure.
Yeah, we could sell that to. We could sell TTP to
all around the world. Amazon, Google.
No, what's the famous Australian that's in the BRW top 10 that ran with a political party that got nowhere?
Oh yeah, Clive Palmer.
Clive Palmer. Yeah. Maybe TTP.
Come on board, Clive.
Maybe we'll get him to invest $100 million into us.
Fair enough.
Also not winning a seat.
Well, it couldn't have been worse than his last investment, could it? Because he didn't go too well with that. But, welcome, Clive. We need a sponsor for the show.
If you're looking to buy a real estate agency, we'll take your call.
Exactly right. Happy to take the call and enter into some robust negotiations. Phil, we didn't wait until the weekend for auctions because we had Kipling Street, which was auctioned and has sold.
Yes, Gary.
A wonderful block of apartments, and well done to all of those people involved. Sally Zellman and Jacob Kingston, I think, had the buy for it, so well done to the team involved in that. The price is undisclosed, but yet another block of apartments. We've run hot with blocks of apartments, don't we?
Well, I think that would be, and I'll check this, but I think that was our 100th apartment block.
Well, where's the party? Where's the dancing girls and guys dancing
guys?
Yeah. Where's the dancing people? Where's the streamers? Where's the balloons? Where's the champagne? pretty
Gary,
poor. It's 100.
maybe we won't release it on this show, but we've probably got the most exciting block of apartments coming up. We listed it last week.
Wow.
Viewers, 12 extra
Don't say anything
large
else.
3-bedroom apartments
With a rooftop?
the most incredible rooftop.
Incredible.
Do you know there was a show? Remember the show, The Secret Life of Us?
Yeah.
That was filmed on a rooftop, I think, somewhere around the Esplanade in St Kilda.
Yep.
I must ring the directors and producers of The Secret Life of Us, because if they wanted to bring it back,
A sequel?
buy this block of apartments.
Anyway, we'll let you know about that.
Stay tuned, because
Phil, you started off on your Saturday morning and a big weekend you had, and I'm sure you were well and truly prepared for bed on Sunday night.
Gary,
This
did
weekend
11
too.
auctions on the weekend,
Yeah, not bad.
and was in bed very early on Sunday night.
But you got up early Saturday morning to be in Richmond for 8 Strode Street and McCrae
What
Mews.
a great property that was. I've got to tell you, viewers, Richmond, and particularly this address in Richmond, you walk to the city, walk to the G, walk to everywhere. It had off-street car parking for as many as 4 cars. Why you'd need a car when you live in Richmond, no idea.
12 Eumeralla Road, Caulfield South was auctioned by Leo Samuel. 4 bidders there, Phil.
4 people competing for that, Gary.
1875. Price is disclosed.
Sold to local developers who do a fabulous job.
They do. Look out for something special there, Phil. You were in Bentleigh in the afternoon in Lawson Street, Bentleigh. From Richmond to Bentleigh, you travel from LA to New York, from New York to LA, all around the world.
Sold that under the hammer, Gary.
Yeah, 2199.
Yeah.
I thought you might have got 22 for that, but
I
you
know.
weren't able to.
Another auctioneer would have been
Doesn't
easily
matter.
able to get that last thousand.
Doesn't matter.
On
I
the
would
other
have just
hand,
about thrown it in myself to save the embarrassment.
It was
but
well over the
fair
reserve,
enough.
Gary. So let's
Fair
not
enough.
be too harsh.
Well done to Leon Guzenfeder. Sells the best house. Bentleigh, Gary Pierre sells the best houses in Bentleigh.
It's without.
Just keeps happening.
You cannot argue.
We can't argue with
And
that,
if you
Phil.
can argue, we're not interested in talking to you.
Exactly right. 94 Brighton Road, Ripponlea. Well done to Matthew Morley, who auctioned that property again. 3 bidders there, sold for $1,900,000, which was more than expected, Phil. And of course, the other interesting sale that Matthew Morley and Jeremy Rosens were involved with
Another
was
block
in
of
Barclay.
apartments,
Yeah,
Gary.
Barclay Street,
Yep.
St Kilda. Well, that would be 100 if the other one wasn't. So well done there. And Phil, I had the joy of auctioning 13 Sidwell Street, which was undisclosed, but I did get to sell it. And we did auction it once before.
We did.
And it didn't sell, but trust the process. We put it through auction again, and lo and behold,
I
it
reckon
sold
that's
on the
probably
day.
about our 100th re-auction
Yeah, I
of
know.
a property.
Yeah.
And I think our success rate has been 100% in our
Yes,
re-auctions.
it has been very
so
high.
sometimes viewers, for whatever reason, at
Trust
that
the
date,
process,
at that
Phil.
time,
TTP.
Yep,
If it doesn't work the
TTP.
first time, TTP the second time. Should we talk
Yep.
about what's happening this weekend?
And let's do that, Gary, because how many auctions have we got coming up?
Many. This weekend we have 29 auctions coming up, and you're
29?
doing plenty
My
of them. You've got
goodness me.
a very big Sunday you've got, and not a bad Saturday either.
Oh, I'm looking at my Sunday, Gary.
Yeah.
It is a busy day.
Yes, you'll definitely you'll definitely be losing a few
going to
kilos.
be rather tired.
You won't
I
have time
think.
for lunch. No, luckily you're the Energizer Bunny, Phil. You're a fitness freak, and for good reason, Phil. 29 auctions. We start off on Saturday in about, I think, in 12 or 13 suburbs. Phil.
Oh, stop!
We are
stop
everywhere.
carrying on, Gary. Let's just jump into it.
Okay, let's jump into it. In Malvern East, Phil, Leo Samuel has the first auction honours at 10:30.
Single level villa, Gary, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, and a lock-up garage, courtyard gardens. Again, we say it every week. We love this style of real estate.
Phil, we're going to be in Buckley Street in Carnegie at 10:30 a.m. Graham Callan auctions this property. He's a bit of a Carnegie guru.
Gary, 4 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking, a great land opportunity, or it's a knockdown or renovate. That's a great property.
I get to open my Saturday account. You can start a bit later Saturday, Phil, but I'm going to be out there at 10:30 on the hustings, Phil. I'm going to be in Brisbane Street, Murrumbeena.
697 square metres of land, Gary, and check out the facade of that house. That is as beautiful as it gets. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking, fabulous sized block of land. And I love that area there, Gary, and we've obviously invested a lot of time and money into that area by opening our Murrumbeena office.
Indeed.
But you've got those streets that run off Murrumbeena Road between the railway line and Dandenong Road, and that street is just brilliantly located. And literally, if you're a shopper, buy this house and buy a scooter and just scoot backwards and forwards between Chadstone and that house.
You did some scooting at the auction in Carrington Grove on the week. Didn't go too well for you though, did it? Because he Phil, thought very cool. I'm going to jump on this kid's scooter. So he pushes some kid in front of a car, grabs a scooter, and but you couldn't get it moving
No, I
properly.
couldn't get it going.
No.
But I've got to tell you, Gary, I've bought two
scooter's auction.
scooters.
Have you?
Yeah, and I'll tell you what I did on Friday afternoon.
I love a good scooter.
This is nice,
Yeah.
and I'll put up a photo of Simi, who I've taken a photo of. I've gone down. I've got two scooters at home.
Yep.
And I go out on them occasionally. I scooted from my house to Beatty Avenue in Armadale,
Yeah.
where there is
It's
a
around the
great
corner.
wine bar called Turak Cellars, which goes off every Friday afternoon. I
Really?
scooted down to the cellar, to Turak Cellars, had a glass of wine, coming back on the scooter. That was a different story.
Fair enough.
And viewers, if you're going to scoot, don't scoot and drink.
No,
it's not
drink and
a
scooting
good
is
idea.
bad, definitely bad.
But thanks for the glass of Chardonnay, Simi, that you did buy me when I went to Turak Cellars on Friday.
Phil, at 11:30 a.m.
Sounds
I
like
won't
an
be,
ad for Turak
I
Cellars.
will not be at Turak Cellars at 11:30 a.m. Phil, but I'm moving from Brisbane Street, Murrumbeena, to Malvern Road, Malvern, to this stunningly repriced, stunning apartment.
Gary,
Phil.
check out the parquetry floors, check out the size of the kitchen meals family room, and check out that incredible balcony, which stretches right across from the main bedroom, right through the living areas. I think that's a special property.
Phil, it's always special when Jack Slater meets with Leo Samuel. Magic happens, especially in Carnegie and Elliott Avenue this time.
Where we have been so successful across our journey. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, basement car parking, Gary. That is a rip snorter.
Jeremy Rosens loves Elwood, Phil. He hangs out in Elwood and St Kilda and does his best work there and in surrounding suburbs. Milton Street.
2
11:30.
bedrooms, 1 bathroom. Ben Eisner has taken that one to the market. That's a really good property.
Your first auction, I'm going to meet you there, is at 12:30. It's a wonderful looking property, Philip. This town residence, well positioned in Prentice Street, St Kilda East. Tell us
Love
a bit about
those
it.
streets. Prentice Street runs off Inkerman. You can literally walk from Prentice Street to the train and the tram in Carlisle Street, let alone all those incredible cafes. That is a wonderful property. 3 bedrooms, 2.5 bathrooms, a car space, and beautiful.
Sutherland Road, Armadale is a fine address, Philip. We actually used to own an apartment there together.
Viewers,
Yeah.
just for the record, back in the mid-'80s, maybe
Yeah, it
early
was. No,
80s, we
mid-'80s.
bought a 2-bedroom apartment in Sutherland Road
Yep.
and paid the princely sum of $51,000. We resold it, being the geniuses we were, for $70,000. It's now worth about $700,000. Should never have sold it, but we
No.
did sell it in order to fund the opening of
this
our
business, yes.
illustrious Gary Pier & Associates.
Indeed. So we would recommend to buy this apartment
Well,
because we love the
We
street.
put our money where our mouth is, Gary. 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and there is a courtyard garden, which is technically not on title, but no one else uses it, to my best of my knowledge, than the owners of this apartment.
Phil, I'm going to be in Veronica Street in Bentleigh East. I love doing auctions there. You get so to do many of them, but I do occasionally as well. I'm meeting Leon Gusenfeder for this fine-looking
Gary,
property.
591 square metres of fabulous land, 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking. Move straight into that home. Further improve it or think about your redevelopment options, subject, of course, to council approval.
You will be at 130 in Caulfield North in Anderson Street. Great address.
Gary, this is a fabulous apartment. I've had the pleasure of handling this with Benjamin Rothschild. 3 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 undercover car space. That's about as big an apartment as you'll get. It's on the first floor, front of the building, and Anderson Street is a premier address and location.
Phil, you're going to be in Raymond Grove at 1:30. No, you're not. Jeremy Rosens is going to be there, but at 1:30 we are selling this great-looking property. Tell us about it.
That's a beautiful home, Gary. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, plenty of off-street car parking there. And Raymond Grove, you've got Hawthorne Road on your doorstep. And you can even walk to the beach. If you walk along North Road, you end up at the North Road.
Sure, you'll end up
Brighton
getting your
Beach.
feet wet there at the end there. 112 Murrumbeena Road, Murrumbeena. We're doing so much in Murrumbeena. Great
Gary,
Callan auctions this one.
Hardwoods, there's 600 square metres of GRZ1 zoning land, but it's got a beautiful home on it that I think could be resurrected. So a good, solid property with plenty of opportunity.
Auction number 6, Philip. Simon Radolnik is doing this one in North Road, Ormond. Maxine Pekarski is handling it.
Gary, 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, 1 car space, and North Road, Ormond has become a real jumping spot since the railway line overpass took place.
Absolutely.
There's some really good restaurants and cafes along that street.
Loving it there.
Just wonderful.
Now, there's only one auction at 2:30, Phil, but you're the man that's doing it, and it's at Raglan Street, St Kilda East. This is
Gary,
a magnificent
I
home.
adore this property. Firstly, it's a double-fronted Hawthorne brick Victorian, which stands the test of time. In 100 years, they'll be pulling down all the modern homes, but
Not
this
that
one
one.
will still be celebrated. It's on a massive parcel of land, Gary, 800 27 square metres of land. That's about 4 times the size of most of the properties in that part of the world. That is beautiful. 5 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. It's just got the best feeling to it, that house.
That's a special property, Philip, as is the home that I'll be meeting you at 3:30 p.m, which has been very popular. And that is, of course, number 45, Prentice Street,
Gary,
this time Elsternwick.
Those streets that run off Kooyong Road between Glen Ira and Glen Huntly are fabulous. This is the most incredible house. 5 bedrooms, 2 gorgeous bathrooms, off-street car parking. It's got the best looking facade, gorgeous garden. There's everything to love there.
Our 4th auction, Philip, at 3:30 p.m, our 4th auction in Murrumbeena. A busy day in Murrumbeena, is in Nangana Road in Murrumbeena.
Gary,
auction.
what a fabulous property this is. 2 bedrooms, 1 bathroom, one car space and courtyard gardens. Beautiful polished timber floor throughout. And if any of the viewers know what Nangana means, it's obviously, I would have thought it's an Indigenous name, but I'd be really curious to know what Nangana
It may
refers
mean
to.
a fine property, Philip, in the
It may,
dialect.
but I don't think so.
Phil, we are busy men on Sunday, both of us doing most of the auctions, although I think you're doing a few more than I am. Let's kick off at 11:30 a.m. in Pentle Road, Caulfield North.
Gary, this is a great opportunity to either buy a home that you can move into or a parcel of land that you can build your new dream home. And Pentle Road is a fantastic location with Hawthorn Road at one end. You've got Glenferrie Road and the Malvern train station, all walking distance. Doesn't get much better than that.
While you're in Caulfield North, Phil, I'm going to be in a beautiful home auctioning at the same time, 11:30 in Caulfield South and Imperial
I'm
Avenue.
rather jealous of that auction, Gary, because that is a beautiful home and an incredible street, 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms. There is just some beautiful homes in Imperial. That's a great location, running between Sycamore and Glen Huntly Road. So you've got the best of all facilities, including the tram in Glen Huntly Road and the tram in Hawthorn Road.
I'm looking forward to meeting Leon Grisenfitter there. And just around the corner, Philip, I'm going to be in Filbert Street an hour later in just as much a good area
Gary,
as
3 bedrooms,
Imperial
1
Avenue.
bathroom, off-street car parking for a couple of cars. That is a fantastic property. And we love all of those streets that run between Hawthorn Road and Bamborough Road and between Glen Huntly Road and North Road. We love that block.
That pocket is a beauty, Phil. You can just remain in Caulfield North, leave me in Caulfield South, and you can move across to this great-looking property in
Gary,
Norwood Road.
this property is 2 streets for the price of 1. It has a Norwood Road address, but it runs the length of Palm Avenue, so you've got a 2-street frontage there. That is the most beautiful home. 5 bedrooms, 3 incredible bathrooms, double lock-up garage. Looks and feels like a brand new home.
Triple auction action at 1:30 p.m. Philip, I'm going to be in this great-looking property on a terrific block of land, 199 Cambrook Road.
626 square metres of the finest, Gary. 4 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, off-street car parking. Is it a house? Is it land? It's a combination of both. So come running for that one, because that little pocket there is going to go up in value strongly, Gary, as that new development finishes, where the new Coles supermarket is going to go, part of the redeveloped Caulfield Racecourse.
Leo Samuel pops his head in on Sunday to do an auction. Philip, you've got the rest for the day after that, but he's going to be auctioning this great-looking property in Nearham Road.
Gary, 101 Nearham Road is 3 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, and it also has a double lock-up garage at the rear and courtyard gardens. You know, Leo, that is a fantastic development there. It's really well sought after. But Leo has been selling those properties since they were built
Since he was born, just about, Phil.
Well, you know, he did want to be a real estate. His mother smacked him on the bottom when you could do that. When he came out of her, smacked him on the bottom, and the first thing he said was "sold."
Sold, exactly right. He had a gavel in his hand at the time.
Do you know what? I wonder whether paediatricians and nurses still smack babies on the bottom, given how politically incorrect it is to raise your hand in and smack children. I just wonder, what do they do? If you're a paediatrician or a theatre nurse or a midwife, do you still smack babies?
And why do they do it to us? What do you think they should do? They just know we're going to be bratty people our whole life?
Well, we deserve to be smacked, Gary, if anybody in fact deserves to be smacked.
Right. Now, we don't get to auction many castle-like properties, Phil, but this is like an estate, it's like a castle. This is something that you would see overseas, somewhere maybe in Europe. Have a look at this property, 23 Hotham Grove, Elsternwick. Do homes, are there any finer homes?
Gary,
some amazing houses.
This looks like it's an estate just on the outskirts of London.
It does.
This is on 1,325 square metres of land. It is 5 bedrooms, 3 bathrooms. off-street car parking for countless cars, maybe up to 6 cars. It's got a 4-car garage and then plenty of further room for off-street car parking. It's something that you have the opportunity to buy once in a lifetime.
Yeah, it's a generational property, that one, Philip. We've got some great offerings on Sunday. I was just sort of salivating looking at the list here. 5 Yanaki Crescent is a magnificent home as well.
Please don't come to the auction, Gary, if you're going to stand at that auction and salivate.
I can't promise you I won't.
The thought of you salivating anywhere is quite repulsive. But 5 Yanaki, on the other hand, is the complete opposite of repulsive. Yep. This is the most incredible home. We love it. It's beautiful, 5 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms. The owner there had his brother, which is Casper Architecture.
Yes.
Casper Architecture and Design did the renovation of this home, took a single-storey 60s house, put a second-storey addition on it, swimming pool, kept a lot of the 60s features, but gave it all of the modern overtures. And it is incredible.
It is.
And it's north-facing at the back, Gary, on 772 square metres.
Try to get to that auction. It's going to be, I think, popular. It's a magnificent home. Philip, at 4:30 p.m, you're going to bring down the curtain at 39 Oron Crescent, another fine property in a great location.
Gary, incredible home, and we love this location. It's 5 bedrooms, 4 bathrooms, off-street car parking for up to 4 cars. It's got a swimming pool. Move straight into that house. It really is the most incredible home.
Now, a few days later, Philip, we're going to be auctioning a block of apartments. That's in Glen Huntly Road, and what a great looking block this is. Tell us about it.
Gary, this is 12 apartments. And this is on a corner, so we've got beautiful access to the building, beautiful sunshine. It's a great location. If you're looking for an investment, it doesn't get any better than this. Buy this for the future generations in your family. They will thank you forever.
Yet another block of apartments, Philip. I'm so excited about it. We have one home to review before we go, Phil, and that is number 5 Waiora Road, Caulfield North. Now, again, Phil, we've got some great homes that we're auctioning this weekend, but does it get any better than this property?
Well, first of all, Gary, there is arguments in the Caulfield community.
Yep.
Is Waiora the number 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 street?
Oh,
Just
about which one.
Those that live in Waiora say it's number 1, but there is no disputing it. It's in the top 5 streets. There is some incredible mansions in this street. And obviously you've got Armadale and Paran and St Kilda and Caulfield North on your doorstep. Having said that, this has got a 2-street frontage, a second street frontage to
quite
Wood
unique.
Street. It's 1,222 square metres of land with a beautiful, beautiful home that you can move straight into or renovate and add on to if you wanted to. But it is the most spectacular home. The gardens, I've got to tell you, gardens take a long time to mature. This has got the most spectacular garden. It's a life. When you buy this house, it's not just a house, it's a home and a lifestyle.
It is indeed. Nice wrap, Phil, on Waiora Road. We're looking forward to bringing that one. As you bring down the curtain, Philip, on a busy review from the weekend. Waiora not yet this weekend, but certainly is coming up on the 19th of June. Hey, Phil, I think after this weekend, you should have a weekend off. What do you think?
Well, as I said, I'm going to surface.
Yeah, good on you.
And I've booked in, probably against my better judgment, but I've booked into the Marathon, which is between surface and Main Beach, but it's right on the beach. Stay tuned to let me tell you what it's like. It's a brand new property where we're going online, we're booking the room.
Brand new is risky.
It's all wait for this. It's all looking fabulous, and then there is a warning as you go to book, which says, warning, there might be slight inconvenience because the building's still under construction.
That'll be fun. Is that right?
So,
really? Yeah.
So I can just imagine I'm going to be, we're going to be in bed, and all of a sudden there's going to be a workman come through with a cup of coffee going, it's time to get up, guys. We've got to start.
Just got to finish off the paving of the bathroom here. And look, can you hand me the hammer? Is just under the bed over there? So we're going to have some fun with that. Well, okay, fair enough. Stay tuned to that. That's a big wrap on what... And still a very positive market.
The managing director, of course, of Marathon, which is, his name is Harry Triggerboff. Harry, because his good friends call him Harry. Harry, if you're watching the show, maybe just comp us up a couple of floors, or put us into the presidential suite, or just put us a long way
that banging noise
from the crane and the wrecking ball.
Exactly right. Sounds like a good idea. Phil, I am going to close out the show because it's gone on for too long.
But it's starting to become drivel.
But we will be bringing you GPTV next week. Don't you worry worry about that. Reviewing the weekend and planning ahead for what's going on and bring you all of the real estate news as we enter the winter market. It's still a very good, solid market out there with an 80% clearance. I'm Gary Peer.
I'm Philip Kingston. Have a fantastic week.